as two elbows point at me, like ready guns at a point of threat. Baggage I never packed crawls into my journal. As sleeveless words weave disconnected worlds into delicate design. The kindred of war marches out to a new land, from a country broken, but this land of the free shares in a familiar despotic madness that slightly flirts with foreign borders. But the troop walks on, diversely unified, and in my liberation I find myself shared, willingly dissected to an unseen enemy who slowly and shape-shifting becomes my best friend. Accustomed to silence and solitude, compromise becomes a lifeline. As bed duvets are no longer yours, night escalates into a tug of war, reminiscently tracing back to my identity, to your identity. War. The nucleus of our history, the molder of our consciousness into a fort of defense, conflict conceived from centuries of cultivation, misinterpretation, misinformation, deliberate disorientation, scratching our lines longer and wider. We lived on the opposite sides of an island we both called home, with the same yellow weeds, the same frothing waves, the same parents praying to different gods. And now, in the same bed, our words reflect the pain of our people, who inevitably we differentiate into distinct democracies that never existed. Our bilingual whispers recall the boulders so tactfully placed by voices saturated by power, dripping in a self-interest that sculpted a future so tragic the sky begged not to be ripped in two. But while it was left intact, it had a higher price to pay, for it became the sole observer of everything else being slit in two. It grew eyes that held the tears in until cataclysmic outlets bathed the dusty platform of division, made the line clear again. The wall tower over our torn capital, and houses collapsed and abandoned, revel in purging sunshine. But the grit remains, and the sky remembers that man forgets compassion when he himself is in pain. Abandonment replays under closed eyelids of an entire nation, gnawing into the marrow, but not once remembering that his neighbor was forced to do the same, and it was his own doing, directly or indirectly, and that blame hovers and sucks the life out of my people, who I dare not differentiate anymore. And no, I am not an idealist. I know our cultural dents. I've lived them. The alienation, the incestuous political activity, the filth we carry in our backs, the underhand deals that shake souls along with handshakes, that then turn and bury us in an early grave. I know the hatred, the fear it's created from, the bigotry my sisters and brothers drown in, the shame and guilt so eloquently laced with blasphemous pride that embraces the selfish and denounces the selfless as traitors. But I am a traitor. If stitching and gluing torn soil is a spit-worthy crime, my enemy hugged me. She brushed my hair, covered me when I kicked the sheets off my bed, handed me a towel, picked me up, and danced with me even she was tired. She covered my ears from the erosive resentment with her two hands that are so like mine, and made me believe that in a country divided,